ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुविज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 31, verse number 14. It's continuation of the song of the gopis, which they sang in separation from Krishna, hoping that he will appear. So we read how they prayed, spoke about his qualities, his beauty, his appearance when he comes back from the forest, and then greatness of his feet, which are called Pranata Kamadam, fulfill the wish of all people who take shelter of those feet. So in this sloka they continue to speak for his grace. In between they call him with some word, cheater, etc., then they call him Lord. Natha, then they call him lover. Sakhe, friend. So different moods manifest because they are very intimate with him. And all these words that put your feet on the breast or Suratavardhanam or give the nectar of your lips, this is basically related with love, that you want to be in a position to do service to you. We are meant only to serve you, that is the meaning behind it. So in the same vein they are continuing here. Suratavardhanam Srokanasanam Svarita Venuna Shushtu Chumbitam Itara Ragavi Smaranam Ninam Vitara Virana Ste Dharamritam. So Vitara Virana Ste Dharamritam, that please distribute the nectar of your lips to us. So this Amritam is, what is the quality of this Amritam? Which is Suratavardhanam, that it increases the love in our heart. And Shokanashanam, it will destroy our grief because we are suffering from separation, we are in grief. And Swarit Venuna Shashtu Chumbitam. So these lips, or this nectar which comes from these lips, have been also nicely drank by the flute which plays Swarita. And Venuna, so that's why Venu is playing so nicely that it attracts everybody, because it drinks the nectar of your lips. Jiva Goswami says that Venu is a Pullinga, it is a masculine gender. So how is that masculine is drinking nectar from Krishna's lips? It is meant only for the females. So he says that it signifies that men can also be his devotees and attain this position. And this nectar is Itara Ragavi Smaranam, that it makes you detached from all other attachments. So everybody is attached to something. You cannot remain detached 100%. We have some attachment to something, and our attachments change from time to time. In childhood we were attached to toys or things like that, then you grow up, you become attached to more other things, friends. Then grow up, you may have your partner, you are attached to that, then maybe children. So the object of attachment keeps on changing in this material world. But if one attached to Krishna, or the nectar from Krishna's lips means service to him, then you become free from all other attachments. So Janayati Ashu Vairagyam. So that is the characteristic of bhakti, that it creates detachment to everything else. Because why are we attached to things? Because either we derive some pleasure from them or we hope to get pleasure from them. But the pleasure which comes from devotion to Krishna is incomparable. Even Brahmananda does not match. Even a drop of bhakti from the ocean of bhakti is million, trillion, billion times more than Brahmananda. So Brahmananda Ched Parardhikrita. If you multiply it by Parardha, still it cannot come close to a drop. So therefore, once you have this raga or attachment to devotion to Krishna, then all other ragas become virag. Virag also means color. When they become colorless, they become faded. So this is the strong color. So therefore they are saying that you give to this nectar to us, which means he has to physically come, it cannot be given otherwise. And why should he give it? Says because you are Veera, you are Danveera, you are very munificent, so you can do that. Sakincha bho dhanvantari pratima bhishak shiromani kamaroga murchitabhyo asmabhyam kimapi ausadham dehi itiyahu. So now they are comparing Krishna to like Dhanvantari, who is the god of Ayurveda. So he says that therefore you are the topmost doctor, Bhishak Shiromani. So why are they saying it? He says because we are suffering from the disease of love, Kamarogam Murchita, and because of this disease we are almost fainting. Sometimes you have pain, you faint out of pain. Too much heat can make you faint, right? Some people cannot tolerate heat, they faint in heat. So it says like that, we are murchita. So therefore we need some medicine so that we can be cured. So Krishna says, what medicine you want? So he says, give us the adharamrita. So vitara virana ste dharamrita. We don't want dharamritam, we want adharamritam. So there is also dharamrita. Dharamrita means the nectar of the earth. And adharamrita means which is not earthly, means transcendental. So that is what we want. So Amrita has the quality to cure all diseases. It is a tonic also. Even if you are not sick, you can take Amrita. But if you have disease, then it cures that. So then they say that we want that. Uddhava also said, Tvayo bhukta sargandha vasa lankar charchita uchchasta bhojino dasa tam mayam jaye mahi. So Uchchista is also called Adharamrita. If you take Adharamrita, Vaishnavas, that is Uchchista is called Adharamrita. So that's what gopis are saying, that we want your Adharamrita. So Pushti Karatvam Shokanashnamiti. So Suratavardhanam means it is nourishing. Because what is most nourishing to anybody is love. You can have nourishment of different types, but the best nourishment is of love. That is the real tonic. Everybody looks for that. So therefore they are saying that this nourishes our love, Suratavardhanam. The word Surat means love. Because Sushturata, that is most absorbing. Rata means to become engaged, to become absorbed. And you become engaged or absorbed, which you love. That is the most absorbing. So therefore that, not only that it gives, but it increases that. Suratavardhanam nourishes the love. That's why it is called also Uddipana. It excites, it increases that, brings waves. And Shokanashnam, so Pidaharatvam Tasya Uktam, and it takes away all distress. Because love and distress, they don't exist together. People are in distress or grief because they don't have love. When love is there, then there is no grief. So therefore saying that shokanashnam iti pidaharatvam tasya uktam nacha tadapi mahargyam mulyam vinayeva katham deyam. So then Krishna says that this is very precious. This is not some ordinary, some aspirin tablet you can go and buy on the counter for few rupees. You are asking for adharamrita. This is very, very expensive. So you have to pay the price for that. Even the great devas cannot get it. They are not even qualified for it. They will not even pray. Even Brahma was asking that I can be born here, kilampi gulmalata, oshadam katamonghi rajobhishekam, so that some dust can fall on my head of somebody, katama, not Krishna's, but anybody from Braj. So what to speak of getting adharamrita of Krishna? So he says it is maha-arghya. It is most expensive. It's nothing more. So you have to pay. How can I give it without giving me some price? So then they say, because you are danavira. So iti vachyam danvirena tvaya taditi nikrishtaya nispranaya api saprani kartum vinayaiva mulyam diyate. He says you are such charitable person that you give this most expensive thing even to the most lowly thing which does not even have a life, the flute. If you can give your nectar even to the flute which is not even a living being, which has got holes, right? Something says holes means defects. So which is holy, very holy flute, and you are trying to fill it up with the nectar, but it doesn't stay there because it has got holes. But flute actually is very generous. It doesn't keep it to itself. It distributes it, all the nectar. So that's how the Vaishnavas are. They are generous. They are compassionate. So flute is the example of that. Krishna gives nectar to the flute from his own lips and the flute distributes it. Therefore, Krishna doesn't want to leave this flute. He is very much attached to his flute because flute is so generous. Although not a living being, but still generous. So he says that you are giving your nectar even to lifeless flute, and the flute comes into life. Saprani kartam. Vinay mulyam, and you do not charge anything. So that is called swarit venuna. So swaritena naditena venuna kichkena shashtu samyaktaya chumbitam swadita. So this has been tasted, this nectar, by the flute, which makes sound. And that flute is also not just tasting it, but sushtu chumbitam, very nicely. Means it's not in a hurry, relaxed, and stays with you. Nanu dhanajana kutumbadi ashaktire vatra kupathyam tadvade janayetam nadiyate tatraho. So now in Ayurveda there are two principles to be followed. Very important. One is that you have to take the medicine, other is you have to avoid kupathya, means prohibited food. Ayurveda doctor will always tell you don't eat this, don't eat that, because different foods are related to different doshas. Some foods increase kapha, some foods increase vata, some foods increase pitta. So depending on what dosha is out of balance, then they will prescribe you or not to eat certain diet. So he says that I don't want to give medicine, therefore a good doctor will not give you medicine if you don't follow the pathya. He will say, no, I don't, because you will bring a bad name to me. In Charak Samhita, in the very beginning, there is a mention of good qualities of a doctor. I think there are 4, if I am not wrong, and then there are also good quality for a patient. It is also mentioned. It's not that every patient is acceptable. So Vaidya also says, because he doesn't want, after if he does not get cured, then you will get blamed, right? Right, Jessica, you know this. So you treat, and if they don't follow you, then they blame you. Oh, I'm taking treatment sessions with you for 2 years, nothing happened. So one also has to follow. So he says, you people, you don't deserve this, because you have the kupathya, you are having prohibited food. What is that? Dhanajan kutumbadi ashakti. Your attachment to wealth, to your people, to family, all these things. So you cannot do bhakti and also have attachment to these things. These are two separate things. Bhakti also requires certain vairagya, little bit. Later on that vairagya comes naturally, but in the beginning, ishat prathamam praveshaya upayogita. So it is important for entry. Because if you want to accept something in your pot, you have to have that empty. If your pot is already full with attachment of this, attachment to that, how will you have the attachment to Krishna? So you have to get rid of other attachments, at least make little space. Then bhakti itself will make space and kick out everything else. But you have to give the entry point. It is already full. So that's why people who are very much attached, they cannot take to bhakti. And those who are very detached, they also cannot take, because they are totally empty and their pot is upside down. So you pour anything on it, it will just flow, because they don't want to take anything. They are so detached and they don't want to accept. So some people cannot accept because their heart is full of attachments. And some people are so averse to attachment, they don't want even bhakti. They think bhakti is also a type of attachment. It is a problem. So they will not. He says, we already gave up so many things, now you are again talking about another attachment. So they cannot understand that this is not material. This is the problem with Advaitavad. They take, when Vishuddha Sattva for them means just material Sattva. They have no idea that there is Vishuddha Sattva beyond this Sattva. They think Vishuddha Sattva means Sattva of Prakriti, free from Rajas and Tamas. That's their understanding. That's what Madhusudan Saraswati talks of in Bhakti Rasayana. So that is not the Vaishnava concept. So Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudev Sabdatam Yatriyate Pumana Pavrita. So this Vasudev Tattva, it is not material. It is in that which Krishna becomes manifest. So he says that, the gopis say that no, this nectar is such that it kicks out all the ragas. Even if you have it, if it comes to you, then itar raga vismaranam, makes you forget everything else. Because raga is that which you remember. There are two things which you remember, raga and dvesha. And dvesha you remember more than raga. That's what Narada said, that na tatha bhakti yogena. that as much your mind becomes fixed with dvesha, not by bhakti yoga. So this makes you forget that. Therefore the word is used vismara. Itara raga vismaranam. Itar vastu su etadeva ragam asaktim vismarayati ti adbhutam ausudhamidam. So this is the beauty of bhakti. If you want to follow bhakti, then you don't have to practice renunciation separately. On other paths, you have to practice also some principles of renunciation. Here you don't have to practice. If you practice bhakti, then renunciation is just natural, because it makes you forget that. If you want to do japa properly, then where is the time to watch TV then? If you want to hear Krishna Katha, then where is the time to hear Gramya Katha? It's not possible. And you get so much pleasure from this, then you lose taste for that. So therefore he says that it is itara raga vismaranam. It brings forgetfulness of everything else. So as we saw the case of gopis, they heard the song of the flute, then they came running, they dropped everything. Even they were serving food, cooking, feeding babies, milking cows, dressing, everything they dropped. So this is the power of this. So nirnam manusya jati strinam vitara dehi he vira dan vira daya vira iti. So itara raga vismaranam nirnam. The word used here is nirnam. So nirnam means human beings. Human beings include men and women both. So, but he says out of that, what to speak of women? It is more attractive to women. So nirnam manusya jati strinam. And among the women also the gopa stris, women of, so they are very special. So he says there is no possibility that we will have any attraction for anything else. Therefore vitar dehi he veera dana veera daya veera. So please give it to us. Why? Because you are hero, not only a doctor, but also hero. But what kind of hero? Danvir, hero in giving charity, or Dayavir, he is very compassionate. Your heart melts for your devotees, so please distribute it. So they are also gopis are also very generous, because nirnam they use that it is for all beings. Although now they are praying for themselves, but they want others also to have it. That's why they use the word nirnam itararag vismaranam. So means other people can also have this adharamrita, and then they will also become free from all attachment. So that is the Dhanvantari Pratima, the best of the doctors, Sri Krishna. Because the biggest disease is the disease of the Kama Roga. Biggest enemy is the Kama. Jahi Shatrum Mahabahu. Kama Rupam Durasadam. So this is the biggest enemy, this Kama. Krishna says that you have to drop it, you have to kick it away, you have to kill it. And solution is Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakta. That is the secret he gave. Become devotee. Then all problems are solved. Simple solution. Yes, Prabhuji, you have a question?
A good question. What is the kichaka? Is it another name for Venu, or is it a different kind of Venu, or what is it?
Kichaka is a word used for bamboo which has holes in it.
Oh, okay.
Kichaka was
But
also...
it's not a Venu itself then.
No, because it's made of that. Venu na Kichakena. After all, flute is also bamboo. So it is called Kichaka. Kichaka was also
That's
the
right.
brother-in-law of King Virat, where the Pandavas stayed incognito. And he was very powerful, but ill-behaved. So he was very much attracted to Draupadi. But Draupadi was made servant of his sister. So he told the sister, I want to have her. So she was very worried. Then she went to Bhima. Bhima was a cook at that time. So then Bhima gave him a trick. He says, yeah, you go tell him that I will come in the evening time. So Draupadi told, yes, I will go. So then Kichak was all happy in his, wherever he was staying. He was a guest there. And he was all eating and drinking, and so Draupadi is coming. Draupadi was one of the most beautiful ladies of her time. So it is Bhima who dressed as a woman and went.
Big size woman.
Poor Bhima, such a heroic person has to dress as a lady. So it was night time, nobody saw him. There was no street light like this. So he dressed and then he went, and Kichaka was waiting, and then he went covering his face and everything. So Kichaka was very happy, but then when he touched, he felt his hands looked like iron. So he said, well, you don't deserve to work as a maid servant. I see that your hands have become very rough. You should come and live in my palace. And then Bhima said, yes, yes. Then he said that your voice also sounds a little So then he approached, and then Bhima thrashed him. And he beat him up so much because he was waiting for 13 years to beat somebody. This was all about towards the end, because he wanted to beat Duryodhana when they lost, but he was not allowed, so now his anger came out. He beat him very left and right. Kichaka was very powerful himself. And then he killed him, but he killed him in such a way that nobody could even recognize how was he killed. He put his hands into his body, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have symptoms of love, that his body limbs will shrink inside. Then he lifted the roof and put it between the roof and the pillar. And he left. And Draupadi, her name was Sarindri at that time, and she had made it known that she is the wife of the Gandharvas, and she has Gandharva husband. So next day when they found him like this, they thought that Gandharva came and killed him. So then his body was taken for cremation. And I think he had like 100 brothers, so they all came and they were very angry and they wanted to kill Draupadi. So Draupadi already said that don't touch me because my husbands are, I actually 5 husbands and they are Gandharvas, they are very powerful. So when they were troubling her, then Bhima came again. And he smashed all of them and put everyone together. But so that is the Kichaka story. It's a very interesting story. Okay. So next sloka. Atati yadbhavan anhi kananam Trutiriyugayate tvam apashyatam Kutalakuntalam Śrīmukham chate Jada udikshatam Pakshmakridrisham. So they are now describing their suffering in separation, that how much they miss him. So this is the symptom of Mahabhav, which manifests only in gopis and sometimes in some queens also, but generally gopis. So he says that atati yad bhavan anhi kananam. In the daytime, when you wander in the forest, then not seeing you, one truti, which is like, I don't know, some 1/32,000th of a second. Very
1700 parts of a second.
Okay, something like that. Doesn't matter, 1700 or 30,000. It's some very insignificant amount of time. It says that appears to us like a whole yuga. Because when you are in separation, time passes very slow. When you are in union, then time passes quickly. When you are suffering, time doesn't move. Time also likes to give you hell. So it doesn't move. So 5 minutes, if I ask you that hold your breath for 1 minute, then 1 minute will look like half an hour to you. Or if you have to say that jump for 2 minutes, 2 minutes will sound like 15 minutes. So, Kutila Kuntalam, so we suffer when we do not see you. Atati yad bhavan anhi kananam trutirugayate tvam apashyatam. Not seeing you, even one truti, a minute fraction of a second, appears to us like one yoga. And when we see you, then also we suffer. Why do we suffer? He says because this person who has no brain, he made lids on the eyes. So we look at you and then we have to blink. And that we cannot tolerate. So, Kutila Kuntalam Śrīmukham chate Jada udikshatam Pakshmakrit drisham. So udikshatam means seeing you, because when in the previous sloka they said that din parikshaye Nila Kuntalair Vanaruhananam Vibhradavritam, that you come at the end of the day, your face covered by the curly hair. Same thing they are saying. Kutil Kuntalam means this curly hair on your face, your beautiful face decorated by the curly hair, but we want to see, but then these eyelids, they come and block our vision. What is the need for this? So Paksham Krida Drisham. He says, therefore we think that the one who made this Pakshmakrit means the maker of the eyelids, he is Jada. Means he is brainless. He is not thinking. When you design something, you have to design each part that it will function in the best way. So he designed this, and then this is problem. Or he could have designed like you have, certain birds can have their wings, they take them out and they take them in. So you could have designed the eyelids in a way that they go inside. And when you want to sleep, they come out. Right? Like the windows in a car, you don't want them, roll them down. You want them, roll them up. So he could have designed the eyelids like that they could go inside when we want, like tortoise. He has his limbs, he can pull them inside. When he wants to walk, he pulls them out. He says he did not think properly. It's not a good design. So therefore he says Pakshmakrit Disham. So devas, they don't blink. They have eyelids but they don't blink. And the fish. So fish and deva, they are called animesha. Unblinking eyes. Kincha asmakam durdrishtam eva dukpradam. So now previously they were blaming him for everything. Now they stopped. Even gopis had the habit of blaming. So now they are stopping. So devotees don't blame others. They say that if suffering is coming to me, it is my own karma. Tatte nukampam susmikshamana. So atmakritam vipakam. That is the durdrishta. Du adrishta means bad luck. So he says it is our bad luck, ill fortune, which is the cause of our suffering and not you. Tvam kim kuryam. He says you have nothing to do with this. Because we get frustrated sometimes, we say you are doing it. But actually we know that it is our own karma. So yad yada bhavan kananam vrindavanam atthi gachati tada tvam apashyatam asmakam gopijananam truti chanasya saptavinsti tamo bhaga sopi yugtulya bhavati. So he says, look, when you go to the forest and you wander there, then we cannot see you because we are here in the village, we cannot come with you. You go with your friends and we have to stay back. So therefore for us one truti, one moment which is 2700 part of moment, one kshana. So that time appears to be of one yuga. So one kshana is described, if I am not wrong, that if you move your hand like this around your knee, there is one sloka, that is called one kshana. This is one kshana. So that divide that into 2700 parts. That is called truti. So that amounts to one yuga. So now imagine Krishna going to the forest for 7-8 hours at least. How many yugas pass for them? This much is what they suffer. So klibatvam arsham divase tremasikam eva tvad virha dukkham sarvesham brajjananam asmakam ateva trayo yama. So he says that all Brajvasis, they feel suffering of your separation in the daytime. You said Traimasik or Trayamik? What is the reading in your book? Divase Traimasik? You have? Masik is not proper, I think it's a mistake. Must be Trayamika.
What's this Masikam?
It's really strange.
The next line says Trayo Yamaha. So it looks like you are right, Yamika.
Yeah, it should be Yamika, not Masika. It should be Divasetra Yamika Meva Tvadvira Dukkham Sarvesham Vrajjananam. So 3 yama. 1 yama is 3 hours, right? So 9 hours, everybody suffers separation from Krishna every day. So there are different separations, small separation and long separation, Vipralamba. Long one is when Krishna leaves Vraja and goes to Mathura. And small one is every day when he goes to the forest. And then there is a smaller one when he is not right in front of your eyes, he goes to the other room. That is a smaller separation. So Vrajvasis suffer, all of them, for 9 hours. All of them means those who do not go with him. The Sakhas do not suffer, they are with him. But for us it is more special. Asmakam tu ateva trayo yama satkoti yug pramana. But for us these 3 yama, these 9 hours are hundreds and hundreds of yugas. Yad bhavante atra durdrishtam vina kimanyat karanam bhavetiti bhava. So he says, how is it possible that we suffer more than other Brajvasis? So suffering is caused because of the bad luck. So we must have real bad luck to suffer like this. And others don't have like that. Punasya kathanchit dinante Śrīmad-Mukham tab udikṣatam utkantaya ikṣmana Teshameva gopijananam drisham pakshmasrashta vidhata jado nirviveko dukkham karoti, this is. And then when you come back in the evening, then we are very eager to see you. So udikshatam, utkantha. Kantha means neck. This is called kantha. Uta means up. So when you are eager to see somebody, you look like that. Right? You do put your face up. So that is the meaning of udiksha. Ud means up, eyes up, kantha, utkantha. So means with great eagerness, we want to see you. But then what happens? Then comes Brahma, who has made these eyelids. So these are creating trouble to us. So he says this Vidhata, the creator, is a jada. He is a nirviveka. He does not have good intelligence. And therefore he makes us also suffer. Dukkham karoti iti shesha. So therefore we are suffering. Evam cha tad adarshne duspara eva dukh sindhu darshne tu pakshod-bhavo nimesha eva yo darshan virodhi soapi navshat truti pramano bhavan navsat yugayate iti ubhayathavi dukkham durudrishtvasadeva. So when you go, we do not see you, then we suffer in separation because we cannot see you. And then when you come and we want to see you, then these eyelids create trouble. So then nimesha eva yo darshan virodhi. So the blinking of the eyes is called nimesha. So this also becomes an obstacle to having your darshan. So navashruti navashata truti pramano bhava navashat yugayate. So 900 truti become like 900 yugas for us. So iti ubhayathapi dukkham duradrishtavasadeva. So for us there is all suffering both ways. So how is it possible that we suffer so much? This is not possible unless it is our bad luck. Whom can we blame for this? Then blaming is not going to help. Then he cites this sloka about the time. So tashrenu trikam bhunkte yakala sa truti smrita shatbhagastu vedha syat taistribhistu lava smrita nimesha stri lavo geya Amna taste trayakshana iti Maitreya. This is described in third canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam by Maitreya Rishi. Because Maitreya asked many questions to him. One was about the time. So this is the minutest description of time you will find anywhere. So
I have posted this in the chat here the whole time.
So he says that if you take Trasrenu, so there is a concept of Parmanu. So Parmanu, of course, you cannot translate it, but they translate it as atom. So let's translate Parmanu as atom. And when you combine two Parmanus, that is called Dvanuk. And then you combined three Dvanuks, that is called Trasrenu. So the time which sun takes to move the distance of Trasrenu, that time is called Truti. This is the smallest time unit. Actually, the smallest is when time which it takes to travel one anu, one atom. Because time is calculated by the movement of the sun. So smallest, there are names for that. And then Satbhagastu Vedhasyat Taistri Vitu Lavasmrita. Then you take hundreds of that. That is called Veda. Then take three Veda is called Lava. And three Lava is called Nimesha. That is called blinking of the eye. And then three Nimesha is called one Kshana. So that is the word which he used, I think. Trituryugayate. The word Truti was used. So this is Iti Maitreya Yadva. Then he gives another meaning of the word Pakshmakrit. So Pakshmakrit can have two meanings. One is Paksham Karoti iti Pakshmakrit, one who makes the Pakshma. Pakshma means the lids, the eyelid. It also means one who cuts them. There is also Kri Dhatu, Dukriya Karne and Kriti Chedane. So Pakshmam Krintati iti Pakshmakrit. So he takes another meaning and takes a different reading. So now the reading is that Te Jada Udikshatam Pakshmakrit Drisham. And now he takes another reading and different meaning. Te Ajada Udikshatam Pakshmakrit Drisham. So that's the meaning. Yadva Kriti Chedane, or alternatively the word Krit in Pakshmakrit comes from the root Kriti, which means to cut. So Drisham sa Chakshusham Pakshmakrit Pakshmacheta Ajadas Chaturojana Te Sri Mukham Udikshatam Utkarshena Pashyatu Natu Vayam Achatura iti Bhava. So then the meaning is that a person who will pluck his eyelids, he is ajada, he is intelligent, because now he can see you without any obstruction. And we are not like that, so we are dull. Jada also means dull, and he is ajada, means he is opposite of that, he is smart, or anyone who does that. So there is a story like that, this plucking of the eyelids. There was a Buddhist monk, forget his name, who went from India to China, because Buddhism went to China from India. Bodhidharma. So he was meditating on a hill, and when he was meditating, he was falling asleep. So he pulled his eyelids and threw them away. And that's how the tea came. You know the tea which you drink? That's why if you drink tea, you wake up. And tea sounds like Chinese word, right? The Chinese words are like that. Li, pi, ti, te, te, not te. Tea is no in English, but the word is te. Te pai. And that's why in Japan, they have a tea ceremony. You heard of that? It's a very religious ceremony because tea is related with Bodhidharma. It's a true story.
Same in China. It's a whole razzmatazz.
Yeah, because this tea is not something as you drink. For them, it's a ritual to drink it. When I was in Japan, I saw it. So because it's related with Bodhidharma. So gopis are not just saying it. It's possible. So therefore they say that Disham Swachakshusha Pakshmakrit Pakshmacheta Ajadas Chaturo Janaste Srimukam Udikshatam. So he is Chatur, he is expert. So if he could do it just for meditation, what to speak if you have to say Krishna? It's a bigger reason. So this is the end of this. Any questions on this? No? Then yes.
Yeah.
Johannes Rāsa-līlā Trikam Bhunkte Yakada.
Means the time it takes to move.
So is it that one ray of light has to cover this distance and that is called?
The sun. The movement of the sun.
So okay, so the movement of the sun relative to the earth, yeah? That's much slower than the speed of light, no? But okay.
But still, it's not that great of a time.
So then you would probably measure it by observing the shadow of something, no? When the shadow moves for these Rāsa-līlā, then
we can see with the speed of Earth how much time Earth will take to cross the distance of one atom, size of one atom.
Let's try and figure it out.
That's what it
I have a question. Why is it said that the Gopi Gita, the gopis are in Dakshin Bhav?
Where is it said?
I've heard it from someone who is an authority. I don't have a... I was surprised to hear it, so that's why I'm asking. In what sense are they in Dakshin Bhav?
Because they're speaking directly now, they're not... The meaning of Dakshin Bhav means straightforward. So they're saying, please show us yourself. How many times they said, put your feet here, put your hand there, here. That is the meaning of Dakshin Bhav.
And in that
It was
sense...
also said in the beginning, if you remember. It was said in the very beginning also of the commentary of the first sloka by Vishwanath Chakravarti.
So Vamya Bhav would be the opposite.
Vamya means when you hide, you don't say it.
Hide.
Yeah.
Achha.
I mean, you want to eat chocolate, so you don't say that, oh, I want to eat chocolate. So you say...
I say, Gurudev, chocolate is not good for you.
No, not like that. That is not. You have to be more subtle than that. You don't bring chocolate in the picture at all. If you mention chocolate, that is not Vamya. That is straightforward. You are already, whether you say it not good or good. You don't talk about chocolate. You talk of something. Actually, it is raining. We should go out. or we should have this something. Talk of something else. That is called Vamya. Or somebody gives it to you, no, actually I really don't like it. So give it to her. That is it. Okay, Sandeep.
Balaji Maharaj, I just wanted to ask like this, the last shloka we did about the Gopi saying about their idols. Is it like they're saying they're just feeling, or is it in reality, or is it just poetic way of conveying their bhava?
Yeah, this is the characteristic of Mahabhav. This is the definition given of Mahabhav, that where moment of time called Truti seems like a yuga. So as I said, that Bhāgavatam is also using the definitions of Rasa Shastra. So in case of gopis it is real. In others' case it may be more poetic. Okay.